Hey, what's up, fam? The newest update for Demeo is now out. Now, there is so much content packed in this update that we will try our absolute best to include as much info as possible. Now, the latest update, The Curse of the Serpent Lord, is a brand new adventure with the addition of the newest class, the Warlock. Now, it's a great time for another Demeo adventure. After we cover the latest information, we're going to give our updated overall review for Demeo as well. Now, just a heads up, at the end of this video, we're dropping some serious spoilers and giving a few tips on how to beat the final level for Curse of the Serpent Lord. Let's get started. There really is a ton of information to cover here. Now, to keep it simple, I will just go through and explain everything new and, to the best of my ability, explain how it works to our current understanding. Now, some things may change down the road in future game updates, so just keep that in mind. First, let's discuss the story behind the adventure. Now, our latest adventure booklet from Resolution Games states that inside the Ronth Desert, you will find Itzeria, the village being built by the devoted followers of Itzi, the serpent god believed to reside inside the Earth's core. Now, initially, the followers of Itzi were a friendly commune that disturbed no one, but something has changed. Lately, something has clouded the village, causing its inhabitants to mutate into scale-clad creatures with a mind tuned to brutality. Now, a new member has joined the followers, stirring up problems. Someone with power. This puppeteer has now summoned its own god, a serpent, a hydra of sorts. It now seems hell-bent on corruption and enslavement. It's up to you and up to 3 friends to save these people. With the setting taking place in the desert, let's talk about the location itself. The desert map is gorgeous and really adds a beautiful new scenery with a lot of new mechanics. Some of the things you will see in the desert are piles of sand. And if you tell your character to attack a pile of sand, you may find gold underneath to add to the coffers. This is a good opportunity to tell your allies to go pound some sand. Like all the other Demeo adventures, there are 3 levels and a final boss to defeat. The new hazard of the adventure is corruption. Now, there are 2 types of corruption fields and a debuff called corrupted rage. Now, corrupted fields are spawned off of corrupted cores and corrupted slivers. Walking on corruption fields will inflict any character with corrupted rage. Now, with corrupted rage, they will spend 1 of their action points per turn and move to a random ally and hit them in confusion. Corruption fields and rage can be cured with water flasks, so you will indeed find them useful. Now, you can either drink the flask, but your allies cannot drink your flask to heal their health. It will just make them wet. Or throw it on the ground and remove corruption fields or rage from allies. Also be aware that Cana may move on a corruption field when moving around the map when commanded. Now, the newest enemies that have been added to the game are the Rift Servant, the Reptilian Brute, the Reptilian Archer, the Reptilian Mage, and the Jeweled Scarab. The Scarab, once killed, can be turned into a merchant for the level you are on and receive a reward marked with a yellow arrow on your map. Now, the Rift Serpent spawns more allies. The Reptilian Brute has a pretty big cone attack. The Archer can leap and fire several arrows in a turn, and the Mage can create corruption. Overall, a really good balance of new enemies to fit the adventure. The newest character is Oana the Warlock and her pet, Cana. First, let's talk about Oana. She's a mage class character with a good amount of utility and has a permanent pet that will always respawn when killed. Oana has a few good spells, including the Portal of Naz, Astral Strike, Master's Call, Feral Charge, and Consuming Vortex. Let's start with Master's Call. Master's Call is her standard ability that will cast a basic ranged attack that marks an enemy for her pet, Cana, to attack. Now, Cana also has 2 action points, so expect her to hit an enemy twice. The Portal of Naz is incredible. It creates a portal anywhere on the map you decide, and it drops a connecting portal to it next to your character for anyone to use, even enemies. Now, Astral Strike is a massive AoE ranged attack that, although doesn't hit hard, is very big. Next up, we have Feral Charge, and that's basically charge, but for Cana. However, the attack is specifically for where Cana is currently located to where you designate. Now, the attack runs in a straight line, so she attacks all enemies standing within that line of attack. Consuming Vortex is wild. It's basically a Vortex spell combined with an instant kill magic if the enemy, excluding bosses, is under 50% health. I actually didn't get a chance to see if it hits allies, however, it will pull them in. We were both a little too nervous that we'd kill our characters. Overall, we found the Warlock to be an incredible addition to the team, but even more awesome is Cana, the real superstar. Moving on to Cana, she is your permanent pet. She is an Astacat and will always respawn when killed. Now, if you move Oana without commanding Cana, Cana will either continue attacking her marked targets or otherwise move with Oana to the new location. Cana also has the ability to power up, which has 3 tiers, and will gain experience after attacking enemies in order to level up. Now, as Cana levels, her attack power and health will increase. She also gets the Drain ability, which will drain health from enemies and replenish her own when she hits them. You really want to get Cana leveled as fast as possible since she is quite a force to be reckoned with. If killed, she will respawn by Oana within 2 turns and retain her increased level minus the experience. She will also remain powered up once you progress through different levels. You can also buff her with boons, heal her, and she contributes a lot of attack power to your team when paired with Oana's ranged attacks. Last of all is Zedekar, the Sorcerer. He has been reworked. Now, he has Overcharge, which fills him with a crackling electrical energy, stunning anyone who dares to attack and turning his zap power into a much more powerful lightning bolt. Now, this is important because we honestly felt the Sorcerer was significantly underpowered before. I actually completed the adventure on my first try and found the adventure to be incredibly difficult, but really fun with 2 Warlocks in my party, along with a Guardian and a Bard. Kelly, however, used 2 Warlocks, a Mage, and a Guardian. Now, my team worked incredibly well, and I think that's where I want to start with this updated review. I picked a team of 4, with a good balance of Mage classes, a healer, and a tank. I can honestly say that I feel this game has found a good balance in its build diversity. The update was a blast and it really had some hard moments, but it was genuinely a ton of fun overall. With the addition of the Warlock, I really want to go back and beat all of the old adventures again, but with a different team. Resolution Games has done what VR companies are supposed to do with their games: support them over time with new content and updates. Demeo now has a total of 4 adventures and 6 characters. Combined with all the new enemies and several new team combinations, there's always a reason to come back. Overall, this game is still a good buy, whether it be on PC, Steam, or Oculus. It's fun for everyone, and the game's polish always shines through. Before I get to the spoilers, I really want to list some of the things Kelly and I truly want to see added to the game. Our wish list first and foremost starts with 4 character co-op when playing with only 2 players. That's up to 2 characters for each player, which Resolution Games has confirmed is coming in the future. Now, we recorded all single player footage here because it's literally the best way to play with the biggest advantage. Plus, we both wanted to try out Oana and also Zedekar's updates. So, in single player, you control all 4 characters, and having 2 Warlocks was freaking awesome when done right. Kelly and I really wanted to play together, but not be limited to 1 character each in 2-player co-op. The other big thing that we really wanted to see going forward is some customization brought to the game. Now, it doesn't have to be pay to win, but to craft a deck of cards that cycle through for which ones you could get would be a nice addition. Having the ability to customize your characters with different armor that you find or earn, and different weapons, armor, attacks, or pet upgrades would also be nice too. Overall, We just want to play this game and feel like this is something that I put together, almost like actual D&D. Customization in any way is how you add a personal touch to a game like Demeo, without making it too unfair. It could also really help add replay value and, honestly, diversity of play. None of our other small gripes with the game are enough to say stay away though. Demeo is a solid buy for anyone that loves VR adventure. And hey, if you'd rather play tabletop games outside of VR, that's honestly your choice. I don't believe that VR tabletop games are pointless, and it's really to each their own. For players that enjoy VR and want to play with friends online, this is always a good option. Now, if you really don't want to be surprised on the final level of the new adventure, you might want to stop now because I'm about to drop some serious spoilers. However, you can come back to this portion of the video later if you need some help. Basically, on the final floor, you are locked in a room with a ton of mobs and hydras that spit corruption all over the place. Now, astral barriers can reflect the spit from the hydras and any magic dumped your way, but honestly, I don't feel like staying at the start is the best course of action. Now, your goal is to find the Umbral High Priest. Don't see him? Yeah, neither did I. That's because he's invisible. How would you know? You have to find him by either guessing or holding out an AoE or damaging card onto the field and seeing which square highlights red when nothing is on it. Now, you can't move to the square either, so that's also a dead giveaway. I found the best way to beat him was to lure all the mobs to the start where you come down the stairs, then portal all the way across the map and start looking for him. He has 105 health, and at 50%, he will become visible and go berserk. Now, when berserk, he will cast spells and create clones of himself that do nothing. But he will spin them all around in the air with himself, and you have to keep an eye on which is the real one. The clones do die in one hit. However, the real one, when hit, will have his health reduced and it will be reflected in all the other clones, thus making it obvious. I really hope this helped. Now, I did complete this adventure with 1 Guardian, 1 Bard, and 2 Warlocks on my first try, and it was a blast. That's it for this video. Consider subscribing if you want to see videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next game.